Hello, it's Scott Manley here with more Children of a Dead Earth. It's time for your first major head-to-head combat. We're finally taking Ceres back. The enemy outnumbers our invasion force significantly, but we will have to make do with what we've got. With the enemy presence around nearly every belt rock, we can't spare any additional ships from Mars or Vesta. Our incoming fleet is fully stocked with the fissiles from last mission, and although the odds are not good, we are confident that we can kick butt. Okay, seriously, let's just skip through to the mission. There is going to be a ton of editing here because this mission took me about 45 minutes. So, first off, I'm in this high orbit, my target is in a lower orbit, and so of course I want to get down and meet it. And instead of doing a boring old Holtman transfer orbit, I pretty much burn radially because I want to get there as quickly as possible. So I do a little, adjusting my transverse. I arrive at exactly the right time, set up an intercept with the enemy fleet, and run the turn. There we go, and immediately they begin their retaliation, launching 25 flak missiles and a squadron of 15 drones. So these will be heading out towards me, and of course my response is to deal with the enemy by launching my own nuclear weapons. You go with the flak missiles and the drones, I retaliate with nuclear devices. So to make those, to put those on course, of course, begin my trajectory. Start dragging the tangential around, start dragging that, and eventually I get an encounter with the enemy fleet. That's fine, those will be heading over there. That is a group of 5 striker missiles and 15 flak missiles. The idea is actually the flak will act as decoys so that the nuclear weapons can absolutely all fall on their target and wreak the havoc they would like. So, to deal with the drones and the flak missile fleet, I'm going to launch little squadrons of 5 at a time, the striker nuclear missiles. So, we're only launching a small number at a time because, of course, nuclear weapons, they tend to disable each other when they explode. So, it's better to actually launch a really small squadron rather than a whole wave of 20. Again, using the power of editing, I begin adjusting the trajectory, and as soon as I get an encounter, I decide to try and get an encounter that is far enough ahead, and then, again, through the power of editing, bang! There I am. I'm gonna point out, yes, this is a post-commentary because I am still having trouble with my microphone thanks to the wonders of Windows 10. I am, of course, wondering how much this carries over from one battle to another. If I deplete my missiles in this battle, will they be depleted in future battles? I very much doubt it. I think there's no... as far as I can tell, there's been nothing carrying over from one event to the other. So I'm going in fully fissiled up. And, fully fissiled up still means that I have to navigate, and that unfortunately means lots of tweaking. Another wave of missiles. This time we're going to launch a squadron of 20 flak missiles. And those will try and intercept either the drones or the missiles. I don't really care, I just want to shoot everything out of the sky that's heading my way. At least that's the plan. However, it has turned out to be hellishly difficult or hellishly random. This is... Children of a Dead Earth is just one of these games that has really started to annoy me. So look, we have the missiles going in, and they're not trying to correct their lateral velocity. So they're going to fly by, and I'll just detonate them manually. And I've managed to disable one flak missile. So we have a bug in the game right now where the proximity fuses aren't working correctly and I have to detonate my nukes manually. The AI does like a naive pursuit algorithm, so it basically just points towards the target and thrusts towards it. It doesn't accommodate for lateral velocity, it doesn't try to make any predictive stuff. It is, again, hellishly annoying because these missiles should be completely getting on target. These targets are not doing anything. Now, when I'm creating these encounters... Oh, here's another one. So obviously I've just edited this out, and at this point I'm literally ranting because I've been playing this game, and it's not that I haven't been winning, it's just that I've been... when I've won, it's been through luck or through poor design or dumb mistakes. But here we go, and yes! Flak missiles knocked down 24 off them. Excellent. That's a pretty good result. I'm going to point out though, in some missions I'm literally able to shoot down whole swarms of these missiles using a couple of nukes. Whereas other times they just sail by safely, completely ignoring the presence of nuclear-fueled Armageddon. Another annoying thing is that we frequently have to replot intercepts. The missiles, you know, we have to do this manually. It's very finicky, it's very annoying. I mean, we can do it reliably, it's just not particularly great gameplay, but nukes ahoy! And there we go, manually detonated. We knocked down 6 of the Stinger drones, and that will reduce their number a little, but we still need another one. So second wave going in. Second wave, ready for the nukes. Whoa, yes, that's a little better. 8 more disabled, and that leaves 1 Stinger drone. 1 lone Stinger drone advancing on my fleet. I don't expect it will do much. A whole fleet of drones can be very, very dangerous, but a single Stinger drone will not last very long against the massed weapons and everything we have here. So what I'm doing here is we've accidentally got an encounter with my nuclear fleet and my flak missiles. Those are supposed to be flying towards the mothership. I have literally just turned off homing in this case, and I can split out the rest of the fleet and say, okay, maybe one of you can go after the target. If you look at the map on the right though, there is some quite significant lateral velocity, and again, as I said, this thing just does pretty much naive pursuit, and it's just, I don't know, it's not guiding itself particularly well. It's not able to cut off the lateral velocity, so it's going to just slide past the target because it's not smart enough to do anything about it. So launching a second one in that direction. The further away we go, the less lateral velocity there should be, but on the other hand, the longer we have to wait. No, I think it's just going to fly past there. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, beep, 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 beep. I'm not sure what that beeping's supposed to represent, because it certainly doesn't appear to represent the AI thinking or anything. See, it should be making course corrections now, but no, it's gonna wait until the last minute. Just watch this. Flak missile coming in. It looks like it's headed on course, but you can see that there is a slight deviation. Had it gone and made that correction a little sooner, it would have hit, and I would not be mad at it. Bad drone. I tell you, you just can't get the help these days. Okay, so we're continuing. We've got our Striker missiles, another wave of Striker missiles plotting intercept with the fleet, and we have this one drone, which apparently is moving away from me? Wait, why does it say enemy is moving away? Well, whatever, it'll be coming back very soon now, I don't doubt. So I'm going to launch. I guess this is probably going to do damage to my fleet one way or another, but I shall launch, I'll probably launch some flak missiles, and when we get within range we can turn broadside. Oh, look at the gunfire coming in! Whoa, Nelly! Lots of weapons. Okay, you start oh! Did I hit it with anything? It just said, enemy Stinger drone has been disabled. Did it run out of fuel? Is that what it is? Yeah, that whole running out of fuel thing and being completely disabled, that's very, very annoying as well. Like, missiles run out of fuel and they get disabled, but if their engines get shot out, then they're just fine. Okay, so with that drone dispatched, it's time to head headlong in towards the enemy fleet. So as I said, I'm pairing up these nuclear missiles with the flak missiles. The flak missiles are mostly intended to be like decoys, something to keep the guns busy, because we don't want our precious nukes shot out of the sky. So first thing is, when I go in here, we can pick, there's 4 targets here. I'm guessing that if I don't pick any of them, then they should spread themselves equally around. Wouldn't that be a good, strategy? Doesn't matter. So yeah, enemies firing ultraviolet laser, violet laser. And my nuclear missiles apparently have higher thrust engines on them, so they're running ahead, but very quickly the flak missiles catch up. So now the flak missiles are leading the attack. They're leading the charge headlong into the 4 enemy spacecraft, blinded by a violet light from a laser frigate, which apparently is the target of choice. They could have gone for all the other ones, but no, they decided that they wanted to focus entirely on that laser frigate. And as such, they can't make a course correction to hit anything else, so they fly by and I detonate them to make sure they do some potential damage. to the other 3 surviving spacecraft. Still, at least we've taken one out of commission. Now, we have another wave of missiles coming in. And let me be clear, you are all potential targets this time. Also, I'm deciding to stagger the approach of the Striker nuclear missiles, so I'm basically enabling controlled homing one after the other so that they arrive slightly different times and potentially you unleash more devastation by not exploding in each other's faces. Come on, which one's hitting? No. No, you all missed. Well, so much for that. Yeah, because I wasn't controlling the missiles, I wasn't able to detonate the missiles. That's fantastic. Yeah, well, that was a completely wasted wave. I don't think we've done anything. I guess we've damaged the orbital defense craft's armor. Yep, missile just floating around there. Floating around, not doing anything. And that... Oh, look, we've disabled some combustion rockets, but they still have fuel. And that one is just fine. I've got to say though, I'm very excited to live in a hypothetical future where you have to specify that it's a combustion rocket. You know, it's just like nowadays we talk about digital and analog audio, but when recorded audio came in, it was analog and nobody mentioned it. It was just audio, recorded audio recordings, whatever. So yeah, having to say it's combustion rockets, it's a good sign that they have gone and developed some more efficient, more high-tech, more sci-fi rocket systems. So yeah, we're just going to try and adjust my orbit now, because apparently we've caused them to change course and my intercept is no longer making sense. We have a sort of encounter there, and we have an actual encounter there. Although under many circumstances the boxed or the diamond-shaped encounters are not as desirable. Oh, look, and we also have potential escapee here. We have a USTA orbital defense craft heading off to infinity beyond into a solar orbit. And based on previous experience, although that spacecraft is disabled and floating off to infinity, I still need to kill it to win this mission. I can't just put it out of commission by sending it off to the infinity and beyond. Nope, I have to assign some more missiles very specifically to take this thing down. So another wave of strikers, and we're going to set our approach vector. Basically requires a lot of poking around to actually get this, and there we go. So yeah, because of the dumb guidance algorithm in the missiles, it actually makes some sense to not use the diamond-shaped encounters, because if you do the pre-encounter like rendezvous, it'll zero out the velocity, which means your lateral velocity will be lower, and that means that you can in fact hit the target. Of course, it means that your relative encounter velocity is lower, which makes the missiles easier to shoot out of the sky. So it's kind of a gamble one way or another as to whether you want to take the excess approach velocity and then find out that you're not quite on target, or to reduce that down and then accept that the naive homing algorithm will be far more reliable if you start from a position without any high residual velocity. Gotta launch another wave of missiles here. Again, 5 nukes and some flak to back it up. Actually, given that we're starting to run out of flak missiles, we'll make the ratio 50-50 instead. After all, we have taken out that laser frigate, and that was the best thing at shooting down things like drones and missiles and stuff. Okay, so we get the next encounter set up. Usta Capital Fleet. But more interesting, my missile fleet is about to make its encounter. And you'll notice now the relative velocity is 4.33 meters per second. Therefore, the crappy homing algorithm on this will be far less likely to send it wide of the target, which is obviously a good thing. Okay, so we're going to basically run the flak missiles first, and then the Striker nuclear missiles will follow a few seconds later. Should we go full homing? Never go full homing. Full homing leads to dead missiles in space. Controlled homing, and oh, actually we killed it. Sorry nukes, you're not needed. Well anyway, back to the main engagement. We're now closing in on the target, and I think, there we go, we have another wave of strikers and nukes and flaks and nukes. and relative velocity is 56.8. Doesn't look like we have a huge amount of lateral, but we really, again, we don't know about that until we actually get the encounter. So the diamond-shaped encounters, I've noticed, they are basically to signify perfect encounters. The problem is, if you want to slow down, the maneuver node happens at the same time as that. So it won't actually begin the rendezvous maneuvers until the encounter starts, at which point it's too late to reduce the residuals. Nice! Nice! I like the sound of those hulls creaking as the nukes, you know, cause their hulls to creak. Ooh, a little bit of glowing there. Glowing recommendation for my... Oh, yes! That's more like it. Orbital defense craft. All engines are now disabled. Well, it's disabled, I mean, it's floating in space. It still has guns, I guess. It still has crew, but we finally have the escort carrier. That's really the only one that's a threat on the field at this point. Yeah, let's not worry about those missiles. Ooh! Okay, the enemy fleet has split up in an effort to confuse me. We now have two sets of weapons. So now that we've basically disabled all the really dangerous stuff, it's time to bring out my fighter wings. You know, we've basically taken down anything that could potentially shoot down my drone swarms. So those get to launch as a separate fleet, and we're just gonna send them slightly ahead. So I'm just adjusting the velocity so they'll get there slightly ahead of my main spacecraft. Essentially softening up the target in preparation for properly being roasted by my capital weapon systems. There, orbit plotted, and bingo! Come on, drones, let's see what you can do here. So we have beam drones and stinger drones. I guess some have cannons, others have lasers. And the escort carrier has, wow, a whole lot of everything. It's fully armed and fully ready to go, and also carrying very scary fluorine fuel, which is just not the kind of stuff you want to be breathing in, ever. Okay, 300 meters per second. Oh, allies are firing the cannons. Just wait for the kill. Whoa, it's like a molten rain. Oh, that is not going to last long. Beautiful, beautiful. I love you, drones. You're so much smarter than your missile brothers. And as a reward, you get to set up an encounter with the other spacecraft, which should be even easier now. My main spacecraft has not engaged at all. Not engaged directly. It has engaged via proxy through its missiles. Orbital defense craft. Okay, what does it have? It has cannons. It has 4 60mm cannons and 5 33mm cannons. Watch this, it's not gonna last any length of time. This hail of death just... Whoa! Whoa! It just broke into like 5 pieces. Look, I really want to love this game. I really hope the devs fix up all these AI problems because it makes me want to hate it. Guys, please, please. See ya. I'll keep playing this. I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.